Hello and welcome. Today we have a couple of interesting stories, including one about an entitled sister-in-law who tried to break apart Op's yearly family tradition for her own benefit. Sit back, relax and enjoy with your favorite drink. Am I the idiot for kicking my wife out of the car on the way to my friend's wedding after I discovered that she was wearing a white dress underneath the blue dress? I, male 33, have a close friend named Tom, male 34. He got married to his wife, Lauren, female 32 days ago. My wife, Hannah, female 30, has never gotten along with Lauren. There's no reason in particular, but Hannah claims that Lauren is full of herself and has fake beauty. I tried to get to the bottom of why they don't get along, but to no avail. When Hannah and I attended the engagement party, she and Lauren ended up getting into an argument because Hannah called Lauren controlling when Lauren jokingly said she picked Tom's suit for the occasion. We had to leave early, but Tom was incredibly understanding of the situation. We were invited to the wedding and Hannah casually showed me a white dress that she said she was going to wear. I snapped and told her that this dress was off limits, but she threw a fit saying I get zero say in what she should wear. I told her if I saw her wearing this dress then I won't take her with me to the wedding, period. She sulked but then showed me a blue dress that she decided to wear to the wedding. I waited on her in the car while she was getting ready. She wore her blue dress like she said and had a jacket covering her upper body. As I was driving I brought up the white dress issue, and why I didn't agree with it, seeing that it's not acceptable to wear white if you're not the bride. But she smiled and said that she will prove to me that it was perfectly all right to do that. I was puzzled. I looked at her and caught a glimpse of a white strap on her shoulder. I asked if she was wearing the white dress underneath the blue dress and she denied it. I stopped the car and told her to take off her jacket. She refused, but I insisted. She took it off and parts of the white dress were showing underneath the blue dress. Apparently, she was planning on taking off the blue dress when she get there, but I lost it on her and told her to get out of the car. She started arguing, but I didn't let her finish. I just told her that it was pathetic and repeatedly told her to get the fork out. She got out crying and I ended up going to the wedding alone, and she was waiting for me at home. When I got home she started arguing again, calling me an idiot for kicking her out of the car, for making her miss the wedding, and for trying to control what she wears. It got too much. I had to go upstairs and stay there. It's been days and she's been giving me silent treatment, saying I cared more about Lauren's feelings than hers to treat her the way I did. The top comments. Not the idiot, and moreover, you're a hero. Your wife's scheme would have infuriated the bride, scandalized you and your wife, and impaired your friendship with the groom. Avoiding white at a wedding is one of the oldest social conventions here. It's baked into our DNA. I believe you did a great public service here and set a strong standard for going forward. You can certainly tell your wife that you prioritized your wife here. You prioritized your wife's need for honor, and your wife's need to feel serene, secure, and confident. You did it by keeping her from harm's way. So great job, original poster, getting through what must have felt like a super tough situation. Edited to correct a typo. Second reply. Not the idiot. WTF? Why did you marry such an awful, petty, hateful person? Crying that she'd miss a wedding she didn't even want to go to because she hates the bride because she's prettier than her. There's something deranged about your wife. No one goes to that extreme without a serious backstory. Maybe she had an affair with Tom or wants to. Cuz that's the only reason I can think of why she'd be pulling a stunt like this. Second story. Am I the idiot for not attending the engagement dinner my future in-laws threw for me after my fiancé hid my engagement ring? My fiancé, male 31, proposed to me, female 28 days ago. He has this habit of joking around and pulling pranks from time to time. It bothers me sometimes, but I try to have patience. His family wanted to throw us an engagement party at a restaurant. I heard his mom talk about how expensive the place was, and how much money they paid for reservations, so this clearly was a huge deal for them. My fiancé and I were getting ready. I noticed my engagement ring wasn't where I left it before I entered the shower. I freaked out and looked for it everywhere. I asked my fiancé about it and he said he didn't see it. I freaked out and was running out of time for the party. He sat there watching me, almost losing my mind trying to find it, to the point where I started crying because, without the ring, I couldn't show up to the party. I kept thinking about what his family would say and how they'd think I was irresponsible to lose the somewhat expensive ring. I gave up looking and sat down and just cried in frustration. The next thing I knew, my fiancé was standing in front of me laughing with his hand extended to me with the ring in it. I asked where he found it and he could barely speak and said that he hid last minute before the party as a prank. I was in shock. He casually told me to get ready so we could get there in time, but I just sort of blew up on him and started yelling saying he hid the ring, made me freak out for 2 hours almost, and almost made me miss the party. He was like, "Relax, it was a prank, okay? Don't make a big deal out of it and ruin the evening." I told him I wasn't going to the party and that if his family asked I would tell them it was because he hid my ring. He freaked out and started begging me to let it go and just go with him, but I refused and went into the bedroom, took my medication, and stayed there. He lost it and kept saying that I blew this out of proportion and that I ruined my party and cost his family dollar and disrespected them by not attending. His family found out and they were mad at him but also me for choosing to not attend and getting over it, but I was in a horrible state emotionally and couldn't handle being in a public place after what happened. Am I the idiot for choosing to not go after he hid the ring? The top comments. This right here is gaslighting. A prank that results in a loved one's emotional and physical panic for hours is not funny. Not okay. You did not make a big deal out of it. It is a big deal that he likes to be cruel and finds it amusing to see you suffer. He ruined a special evening because he wanted you to be stressed and suffering instead of wanting you to feel loved and happy as you deserved on such an occasion, and he disrespected and tainted the ring that is supposed to represent your unity and love for one another. This is fully on him. He made a mistake in believing that he could manipulate you into relaxing about his cruelty, but you respect yourself too much to play along. I'm proud of you, original poster, for valuing yourself when he clearly does not value you. I would never put that ring on ever again. He ruined everything, but at the end of the day, you dodged a bullet. He doesn't deserve you. The second comment. Agreed, not the idiot, but your fiancé is one original poster. As someone who also loves to prank, why in the hell did he not give it back the moment he saw she was upset? Let alone for 2 hours. Not to mention that it's just an awful prank, to begin with. Any idiot would understand that almost no one finds someone hiding precious things and acting like they're lost funny. Clearly, original poster's fiancé doesn't possess 2 brain cells to rub together to figure that out. Pranks and jokes are only funny when everyone is laughing, especially the person you made a joke of / pulled a prank on. If they don't find it funny, you just crossed a line, were mean, and should apologize and never do it again. If you keep doing it, that's bullying. If you tell them they are silly for not finding it funny too, that's gaslighting. People who pull this crap all the time because it is funny are just baffling to me. It's not funny and you're not a comedian for making people sob. Third story. Am I the idiot for getting angry at my husband for buying me a ring and demanding he returns it? My 24 female husband, 24 male, have been together for 6 years and married for 5. When I was 19, I found out I was pregnant with my husband. At the time, we were both quite religious and decided to drop out of college to get married to raise our children. We got married in a courthouse and held a small reception/barbecue in my parents' backyard. It was small and thrown together, but I remember it fondly. We've struggled financially for almost our entire marriage. I managed to finish hair school and work as a hairdresser while my husband has a decent insurance agent job. This would be plenty, but we had twins during our first pregnancy and welcomed our third child 6 months ago, which has just made our financial situation tighter. My husband is a huge hopeless romantic, and even though he has never said anything, I know he's disappointed with how our wedding/marriage turned out. He's always said that he wants us to have another wedding someday. I've told him that we probably won't have enough money for a long time, to which he always says I'm being negative. Recently, we celebrated our 5th anniversary. My husband made a delicious meal before we went to the beach to watch the sunset and drink champagne. While on the beach, my husband proposed with a beautiful engagement ring. He explained that it was a promise that someday we'd have that do-over wedding. I asked him as calmly as I could how much the ring was. He told me it was a $5,000 ring. I was furious. We barely make it by, and $5K is a lot of money to waste on a promise. We haven't been able to put aside any money for our children to go to college, buy a house, or our retirement. I asked him how the hell he got this much money, and he said he'd been putting aside money for years, which just made me angrier. I demanded he returns the ring and then we could discuss what to do with the money. We argued, but he ended up agreeing to return the ring. I put aside $1K for each of the kids, and $1K for our retirement, and saved the extra $1K for a rainy day. I think this was the right thing to do with the money, but my husband has been pissy and has been making all sorts of snarky comments about how I always have to be in control. Even though I think I did the best thing in this situation, I feel bad and think I might be the idiot. So, am I the idiot? The replies. You can all downvote me to hell if you want, but not the idiot. I would be furious. All this is about, OMG, you completely ignored his gesture of saving up for years for that ring. He was so romantic. I can only imagine you all saying that have never struggled. All I would see when I looked at that ring is every time we had to decide if it was gas in the car or the electric bill, every time I had to call up for a bill extension, the sleepless nights and tears over how we're paying for school supplies, how I'm going to make $50 in groceries feed 4 people, eating plain bread for lunch. So. And all that time, he's been keeping a secret stockpile of money for a hunk of beaten metal in Iraq. Nah. But birth control people. You can't afford your children, or rings, or university for anyone. All this mess is because of sex and babies. Religion also didn't seem to help much here either, as there is no sound of love, appreciation, or kindness on your part. Good luck, I really mean it. Third. Not the idiot. People are missing the fact that he's been putting money aside to buy an object, and you guys haven't been putting aside any money for your kids to go to college, for buying a house, or for retirement. He basically was hiding money because the idea of presenting you with a big ring brought him joy, and he thought it would be okay because it would also end up bringing you joy. You are right to be pissed off. 'Cause you literally haven't been building anything towards the future, and he's been saving that money toward a ring? That money should have from the get been going toward those savings funds. You need to have it out with him and explain to him in acute detail why you are hurt 'cause he's not getting it. Fourth story. Am I the idiot for not telling my in-laws I couldn't cook for Thanksgiving this year so my son-in-law could host instead? This is a somewhat mild am I the idiot scenario compared to some of the stuff I see on here, but my Sill's whole family seems to think I'm a huge idiot for this, so here we go. I am a 34F and I have been with my husband for 14 years. Since we were about 24, I have been hosting all family dinners for holidays and special occasions because I love cooking and my father-in-law was tired of doing all the work on his own and I enjoy it. My husband's little brother recently married a woman he had been dating for 3 years. She is always invited and she and her kids always come as well. This year, she started talking about how now that she is married she will be allowed to host. The thing is, she's never asked anyone to host. She's never tried to even do a barbecue at their place. Then last week, she came over with my brother-in-law, and while he and my husband were outside in the backyard, she asked me if I could do her a huge favor to make her feel welcome, as her older son-in-law. She wants me to tell my husband's family that I'm tired of hosting and don't want to anymore, so they will in turn look for a solution, to which she will offer to cook and host. This struck me as strange for 3 reasons. 1. She can't cook at all. My brother-in-law cooks for their family. 2. She usually doesn't like being around everyone for long. She always goes and sits in her car or asks my brother-in-law to leave early, every single time. 3. My brother-in-law and her have a very small yard and dining room, which would be hard to fit that many people. Even with all those reasons, the most basic one is that I just don't want to. I love cooking for people and have always enjoyed putting everything together. I have asked her to chip in several times to try and include her, and she will agree and then beg off right before. I told her I didn't feel comfortable lying and that even if I did, my father-in-law and mother-in-law would automatically call BS anyways because they know me. She got pissed and said I'm trying to alienate her with my in-laws and that I'm just jealous I'm not the only daughter-in-law anymore. Her whole family is brigading on FB with vague posts about loyalty amongst women and being the bigger person, and the older should always concede to the younger nonsense. My husband gives 0F***CKS about it. He just said she's being a drama queen again and told his brother to get his wife to leave me alone. My brother-in-law was confused and his first words were, "Why? She can't cook," when I told him. The whole thing just seems too small and juvenile to me, but here I am looking for an outside opinion.